Howdy, 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 and welcome back to MCubed and SciTrek, of course. We got your regularly scheduled Cinema Scoop over here on Wednesday, a little later than usual, but that's because there was a wonderful stream that y'all should go catch the recap of if you have not, or if you weren't there in the stream, of course, itself, over on SciTrek, talking Star Trek and a little bit of Stargate, which we might have to start this stream off with a little bit because it's some sad news, and I don't like this news,
Right.
and I got some thoughts on it.
Let's not go as far as saying news.
Okay, yes.
I try to be very careful with sharing information. Let's go with rumor, but strong rumor, because I've not been able to confirm it with anybody else as well as you think. So, we got to, we're gonna put that line on it. But yeah. So what I was just for anybody that wasn't on the thing. The rumor is that a source that I speak to that works over at one of the larger talent agencies in the United States was talking to an executive from MGM and trying to get a feel for what MGM and Amazon projects are running at the moment. And the discussion was around the layoffs and how that might affect certain schedules. The conversation basically got onto Stargate, RoboCop, and a couple of other projects. They said, well, how about is it going to affect these things that we think are coming? And this executive basically said he thinks the RoboCop reboot is probably on the back burner. Legally Blonde 3 is fine, though, so don't worry.
Oh, of course.
That's probably on the back burner as well, to us. But anyway, but he actually said that they felt that the Stargate movie was at very least on the back burner, but he felt, and this was this executive's opinion, that it was actually dead, that Amazon weren't going to be moving forwards with it. So before we get into it too much, I just want to emphasize an MGM executive. So he may not know the full story. I keep saying he. Ignore that I say he or she. All right. I will call everybody he, regardless, in my brain, because anyway, ignore that. This person may not know the full story. That's possible, but I'm hoping a little bit on that one. I think maybe a little bit hopeful. But also that he did say that he thinks this makes the Stargate MGM Plus TV show more likely, but he doesn't think it's going to be this year. Right? That's basically the rumor. I
year as in like
a little bit more to it than that, but we'll get into it.
Yeah. So like this year, as in starting filming, or
it wouldn't go into development this year.
Mm-hmm.
It'd
be about 3 years. Wow.
Right. So yeah, it would be 2 years till it was on our screens. Do you know when I've got to be careful what I.
Oh, totally. Yeah, be very careful.
Saying what I don't. The MGM slate for this year is out, but it's not been made public. But I know a few people that have seen bits of it, and apparently I'm being told Stargate isn't on it, but they are actively looking into developing or getting some ideas for Stargate. So there are people at MGM Plus that are looking at how to do a Stargate series right now. And that is going to be, they're looking at what prep work was done, what development work was done, what Brad did and everything, and trying to figure out what to do. That's not really news, though, because they were always looking at following the movie with a series.
Yeah.
And MGM was always going to run that series. They were always going to manage it. So the movie was basically being run by Amazon, but elements of MGM were going to run the series. And even though even though MGM and Amazon are basically one thing now, there is still some partisan stuff going on. So they're still looking at that. But my understanding is they're looking at that less from a movie point of view now. So we'll see how that goes. But it won't be this year. It will not go in active development this year.
Well, that's what it is. But expected if they're going to be pushing anything back to any degree. So what Should I jump into my worry about it first, or did you want to jump into?
Go on, because and then I'll tell you why you're wrong.
Okay, because
why you're wrong, in my opinion, because we're going into speculation now.
All right. So when Jamie gave me this news, yesterday, or the day before, you're texting to us. My first thought process was, if this is no longer a film, it's gonna end up on MGM Plus, and then you just don't have the eyes on MGM Plus, and you're not gonna. I don't care how many people like Netflix. They can go get more subscribers. They just got WWE. MGM Plus doesn't have WWE or anything like that to like say, you know what, this is truly worth that extra $5 a month. One show, as much as I love Stargate, is not going to do it. People might wait till the very end of the first season and then go by the month or by the week or whatever the hell they do, and then just dump MGM Plus right after that. That means the viewership is not going to be there for Nielsen ratings throughout the time, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I really think if it goes to MGM Plus, we might get 2 seasons, maybe 3, and then contracts change after, especially with the new SAG deals. They change really big after 3 years. So
they tend to. Yeah.
Good luck. I just don't think that we would. I don't think we would get it at all. A mini series might be nice, Sarah, but I just don't see how they do a mini series there and then try to do an actual series on Prime or an actual series on MGM Plus, or then put it into movie theaters. I think putting it on MGM Plus is signing the death note for Stargate.
Right.
Again,
the way I understand this, and now I'm having to put 2 and 2 together here a little bit. All right. MGM, Amazon are planning to push MGM Plus much heavier in 2024. They've already been putting MGM original movies and series on MGM Plus, and apparently the MGM Plus subscription in the United States has nearly doubled over the last 12 months.
To a whole 800 people? I kept kidding. I'm sorry.
800, 8. But that's a 100% growth from 4 to 8. Now, they had projections apparently for MGM Plus growth, and it was exceeded by nearly 50%. So MGM Plus has grown significantly. And then it's actually rated in the when these people they do like do you have like Witch in the US? Is it a magazine or something that rates things? And then like tells you how good a car is, or a
they're all like niche and stuff.
We call it. We have a Witch service over here, but they do everything. So like electric providers, it's like Witch recommended. Washing machine, Witch recommended.
Is that a Harry Potter reference? I'm sorry.
No, it isn't. It's Witch, as in which one you should do. Right. So in the US, they've had there's a similar survey that's done basically, and MGM is one of the most highly rated streaming platforms based on customer satisfaction. So people, how much the service costs to what you get, it's really highly rated. It's in the like top 2 or 3 of all of the streaming services in the US. That's not based on what the content is. It's based on it only costs $5.99. Is it in the States? It's $4.99 here in the UK.
I think so. It's either one or the other.
Basically, a cost of a cup of coffee nowadays, but they've started putting all this MGM products on there. In the UK and stuff, MGM Plus isn't as good. There's not as much content on there. But the idea is that over the next year, they're going to push that. And into Europe and stuff, MGM Plus they're strengthening MGM Plus with content, but keeping it at this $5 mark, which is what they want, £5, $5 mark. But the idea basically is that the budget will increase as long as with subscription increase. So that means their budget in the next 12 months should increase. It should virtually double. And Amazon have promised that the budget for MGM Plus projects will keep track with subscription. So in theory, if it keeps growing the way it has done, we should see an increase in quality. Now, at the moment, MGM Plus can afford to do about 5, 6-ish scripted new projects a year.
Okay.
They're hoping to increase that to 10 next year. So there's a business model for MGM Plus. So I'm putting 2 and 2 together a little bit here now. This is me speculating. This isn't me. I don't know this for certain, but I'm speculating this. I think the plan for MGM Plus is to, over the next 12 months, start putting more MGM movies on there. And there'll be a couple of MGM original movies that will premiere on MGM Plus. Amazon will heavily advertise MGM Plus over that period. And that's not news, because that in that interview that we listened to about a month ago, Michael Wright told everybody that this is the plan. And one of the Amazon top executives was with him. They're going to heavily push it, and they're also going to do something that a few deals that you'll get MGM Plus free. They've already been doing it a little bit in the United States. You get it free if you buy something or do something. You can get MGM Plus free for like 6 months or 12 months, and apparently that's really, really well for them. And they're going to do a load more of that in the next 12 months. They see it as their number 2. Well, they see it basically as MGM and Freevee are the main 2 of their like bolt-ons. They're the 2 that they want to push. I could see then that if they're talking about Stargate but not being this year, it's because they're going to want to announce that and push that after the growth, is to push it to the next level. So you get growth over the next 12 months, then you do something like Stargate. The reason why I don't think you're right, though, about the 2 or 3 seasons is because of something else that Michael Wright said in that interview. And their plan is to put any new show that goes on MGM Plus. They'll do the first season on MGM Plus. They may premiere it or do the first episode on Amazon Prime. And then the rest of the series will be MGM Plus as a hook and a tease. But then, before the second season comes out, the first season will go on to Prime. Just before the second season comes out. They're going to be doing this with series like Billy the Kid from next year as well. So the idea,
finally, but still, like,
yeah. But the idea being that Prime is then basically advertising, so you get the best of both worlds in a way. If you don't mind waiting, you'll just watch it on Prime.
Both worlds, honestly.
You what, sir?
I think you get the worst of both worlds there.
Well, if you don't mind waiting 8 months,
yeah, you're either paying more or you're waiting, one or the other.
Yeah. But you can do it on your Prime thing, or you can pay $5, like you said, once it comes out, $5 and binge it. You know, it's not. I actually don't think that's a lot of. The problem comes in is that people are trying to have 8 or 9 different streaming platforms, and it's costing 70, 80. You know.
Well, even if Freevee's free, I'm still paying for Amazon Prime. So now you got $15 out of me for 3 streaming services when you could literally just all put it on one and not have to think about it twice. I don't like.
Prime aren't going to be doing that. So they want that double amount of money off you.
Oh, of course. It just
MGM Plus is going to be one of my rotation streaming services, and it's going to be Paramount. I'm always going to have Netflix, and I'm always going to have Prime because I get my free delivery through it as well. I get Netflix free with my Sky, with my cable provider, so I get Netflix free anyway. Well, it's not really free, is it? Because they build it into the price, but they tell you it's free. I rotate Apple, Paramount. I will rotate MGM Plus if they start putting shows on I actually want to watch, and I rotate Disney now. I don't keep Disney anymore. I rotate that. So what I do is I have one of them, and they all cost about the same amount of money, £5-6. And I just rotate them. I turn one off, I turn the next one on, I binge everything on there, and then I turn it off again. And to be honest, I would do the same with Netflix because there's not enough on there anymore, really. I would do the same with Netflix if I didn't have it part of another package.
I feel like there's Netflix. I'm just scared with MGM Plus that it's going to go the Disney route where all they have access to is their catalog of content that they've made, all the projects that they've ever made. And it's great. That's great. People want to go see that. They're going to watch that. But people get tired of that over time. And Disney Plus has been putting out new originals as well. But Hulu and Stars, I think, is going to save Disney Plus in general. I think it already has really been saving them a lot.
Oh God! When I first got Disney, I was like, "What the hell am I paying
for?"
for?"
It was great for about 3 days.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah. I've watched Lion King twice.
Yeah,
and then I just basically spent 6 months waiting for Marvel, and then I was just like, actually, the Marvel's crap. Oh my God, thank God for Stars and X-Files and all that went on. But to be honest, I haven't watched anything on Disney Plus for ages.
Yeah,
I haven't even got around to watching Indiana Jones yet.
Oh, on Disney Plus?
Yeah.
You may like the Percy Jackson series on there. It still is a little young adult.
Oh, yeah, I haven't got around to it yet, but I will watch that. I think I watched the first 10 minutes of it, but then the wife started talking to me. And I was like,
yeah.
Okay, we're having this conversation, are we? I'm not watching TV anymore, am I?
Nope.
We're talking, are we?
That'd be a negatory Ghost Rider.
I was watching Star Trek: The Wrath of Khan yesterday. She kept talking to me, and I was just like, how many times can I subtly look at her and then just not say anything and look away and look back at the movie until she gets the hint that I'm not talking to? Anyway.
Approximately 3. Okay.
But yeah, so that's where we're at. I think if the Stargate, I think that's where they're leaning at the moment. But I'm waiting to get more confirmation. Basically,
they're gonna lose goodwill. I'd
already.
Yeah, screw all the that's all the MGM Plus stuff. You're gonna lose goodwill. If you cared about MGM Plus, you wouldn't just put MGM Plus stuff on it anymore. You would put Invincible on it. You would put The Boys on it. If you want to grow something like that, you put the things that are doing well on Prime on.
You're going to put MGM. The reason why they bought MGM, it was for MGM products. So it's going to be MGM products. But MGM,
they want to grow,
years, they've got some of the greatest movies ever made. But what we want is the MGM products on there. James Bond is on Prime. James Bond should be on MGM Plus. And that's, but if you had all of the great MGM movies over the years, think about some of the films, some of the classic films that will be on MGM Plus.
All the Rocky, all the Creed, all the James Bond,
2001: Space Odyssey. It goes on. Ben-Hur. It goes on and on and on. Spaceballs. It goes on and on and on. It's 100 years of great movies, and TV shows and things, but.
I don't want to say they have to gatekeep, but if they want MGM Plus to grow, they have to gatekeep all of those projects and put it on MGM Plus. Because if not, those are better examples than The Boys and Invincible. That's just what's popular on Prime right now. But I'm pretty sure James Bond and Rocky are probably getting more watching than your average just individual project from the last.
I'm pretty sure Rocky and Creed are on MGM Plus, but they're also on Creed and other services. They need to just be on MGM Plus, and that way people will watch it. But like I said, you'll binge it for a month, and then you'll turn it off for a few months. But that's the way Amazon want you to do it in a way, because they know a lot of people that it's that gym membership thing, isn't it? They will go on and they'll forget about it. I did it with Paramount, to be honest. I've still got Paramount Plus now. I haven't turned it off because I forgot about it. But I'm watching Yellowstone. I'm watching other things.
But is Yellowstone on Paramount Plus for you?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay, so in the States, every other Taylor Sheridan anything is on Paramount, but Yellowstone is on Peacock.
That's what I think because it's an MTV show.
Yeah.
And MTV is owned by Paramount.
I think it might have to do with the actual distribution of the cable aspect of the show. Maybe I'm not positive.
Yeah. The cable thing it gets confusing in the US, to be fair. But yeah, it's on Paramount Plus for us, and so's all the spin-offs. Halo is going to be. So actually, Paramount Plus is looking quite good for the next few months. I'm really looking forward to Halo.
I like Halo. I like Paramount Plus. I like Halo too.
I will have to try to watch the new series of Discovery. Suppose there's a couple of other series coming out as well that I'm really looking. Paramount's looking good this season. Oh, we're getting. You're talking about being on Peacock.
Yeah.
Metal.
No,
the series, the car thing. Twisted Metal is going to be on Paramount Plus.
No way, really?
Wasn't that on Peacock in the US?
Yeah, it was on Peacock.
Paramount Plus, Makes no sense.
Real quick, while we're talking about all these new series, though, we did get the wonderful trailer for the live action Avatar: The Last Airbender yesterday. I didn't give you the full shirt.
I'm looking forward to that for Netflix. I have to admit. Just to finish off a little Stargate rant, though. We are trying to clarify what's going on. This isn't a major. This is disappointing, but to be honest, we didn't really want a movie anyway. If we're honest, we wanted a series. We were hopeful that they were going to do the whole thing. I'm going to get I will do a video on this the next few days and get my thoughts straight. But I am waiting for one person who's having conversations, hopefully tomorrow, that should know something a bit more as well. And we'll know a bit more. But if there is a campaign brewing that would actually give us everything we wanted, that I can't say too much about, but there is a campaign brewing, and like I say, everything we want, if successful, and that we're going to be involved in. So we're not giving up.
Well, that'd sound about right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't remember if I've told you about what I'm talking about or not.
No, but I feel like I maybe like hit
private chat in here.
Yeah, there is. We can use that. I don't actually see it though. Where the hell is it? Where's the private chat on here? Am I slow? You can just text me.
But that's not my story to tell. So but we will be involved. We've had meetings discussing a plan, and hopefully this news actually in the long run could be what could give us all what we want.
I'm pressing the wrong buttons. I was trying to type a comment. In the long term, for sure. In the short term, this is why I've just been clamoring for a movie the whole time. Because if they didn't want to move, this was always going to happen if they didn't get a movie. Just from the way Michael Wright was always the way nobody could actually come up with a decision. Yeah. This was always going to happen if they didn't do a movie, which is one of the big reasons why I was just like, we got to do a movie. Because it shows confidence.
The MGM guy was like, say, he was refused because he said, look, we had all this momentum. We had this thing. We were ready to go. People were, Stargate was trending on Twitter like every other day sort of thing. And that momentum is just gone. But I actually think there's other issues. I think, I mentioned this on the other channel, I think there's an issue with, they're looking at the cinema and going, we don't know what's going to succeed and what's going to bomb. And that makes us worried. Franchises seem to be doing badly at the cinema. People watch them on streaming. Indiana Jones did really well streaming.
Yeah.
Nobody else go to the cinema to watch it. It didn't do $300 million production well, but it did well. And I just think Amazon have looked at that and gone, is this the time to do a Stargate movie at the cinema?
I still totally think so. Just with all the big, just if they actually cared about looking into it instead of just talking politics in the office, which seems, obviously we're not actually there, so we don't know, but that's what it feels and seems like, just them prolonging this to us. Because IP is not consistent IP that keeps getting shoved down our throat is the stuff that's not doing really well right now. Godzilla and Kong, Godzilla versus Kong, that last movie, it's kind of dumb fun, but there's not one of those movies every single year. That movie made what? $700-800 million. Jurassic World, Dominion, while also not being the greatest movie in the world, we don't get one of those every year either. So when it came back, it still made $1 billion+. IP is nowhere near. I actually just found private chat. I saw the little red one pop up. But IP is not dead. It's just I really think the Marvel is the Disney Plusification of things is what screwed us over, is because we have to have something every single year for the same thing. And it works for a TV show. The Boys, stuff like that, perfect. And you don't even have that every single year, which is great. All this, it's Star Wars and Marvel, I think, are a big two.
It's every 3 or 4 months.
Yeah.
There has to be a new Star Wars something every 3 or 4, every quarter.
Star Wars is every quarter. And then
every quarter.
Well, not even that. The last 2 years for Marvel, there have been shows overlapping. Like, you don't even finish a show before the next one starts, or so on and so forth.
Yeah. There's no anticipation. Disney screwed themselves for this for years, though. What they used to do with the Disney classic animations like Lion King and things like that was they would have DVD or video runs, but they would do it every few years. So you couldn't actually buy Snow White or something all the time. You had to wait for it to be released, and then they did special releases. And then it was so at any one point there was only like 5 or 6 animated Disney movies that you could actually go into a shop and buy, because they just weren't, they didn't run it all the time. So the result of that was it became special. Do you know what I mean? It was like when it did come out on DVD, it was like they didn't release them all straight away when DVD became a thing. They released them over a couple of years, and it became a thing.
It's a good way for the studio to make more money too. Like, it is special, so people go and do it.
Special.
And now it's different tiers of little physical media. People love that.
Yeah, but now it's because of Disney plusification, like you said. It's not special anymore. But the Marvel movies, they're not special anymore. You can watch it whenever you want, and it's like, and there has been a quality issue. There's massively been a quality issue because they just tried to do too much. There's like a 2-year period where they were just like, we're going to do everything. And whatever they were thinking, somebody needs to lose their job over, or a foot. Maybe lose a foot.
Chapek lost the CEO position, and Victoria Alonso lost her executive producer position for trying to push those VFX houses too hard. So the two of them are gone. So hopefully that means... So for Marvel's, I guess, at their behest, I'm thinking that they may be doing a little bit better with the whole Bob Iger saying we're slowing down, and there's only one movie coming out this year for true Marvel, not Sony Marvel, but true Marvel, and then 2 or 3 shows. And the 2 or 3 shows aren't necessarily exciting, but that's just what's left over from the last regime still.
Yeah, we're still seeing a little bit of a leftover, aren't we? And then it's only going to be 2 next year, isn't it? I know it's we're obviously getting Daredevil next year now. And I'm not sure what else. Ironheart comes out this year, doesn't it? I think
Ironheart, Agatha, and What If Season 3. What If Season 3 is the only one I'm actually excited for.
What If Season 3 really doesn't count, though. I don't think it's an animated
thing. Yeah, but it still takes up slots and timelines for them. So
and they push it like it's a serious show. They don't push it like a kid show, do they? So yeah,
and it's better than most of the actual shows too.
Yeah, I love What If.
Because X-Men 97 is coming soon. I think that's next year too. I think that Spider-Man, they changed it from freshman year to something different. So there's an animated Spider-Man with Tom Holland coming too. And then 1 or 2 other shows. I don't know if we're going to get a new season of anything, because they have a dozen shows that they could do second seasons for still, and
they're not going to. But yeah, let's see. I think there's a shift. There's a major shift gone on. And with Star Wars, there's a major shift gone on. But the thing is, that major shift, we said how many times, and to go back to Stargate again, how many times did we say during those strikes, there's a shift. This is going to be different when this comes back. There's going to be stuff cancelled. There's going to be stuff put on the back burner, because because there's just too much thinking going on. But in some ways, I think it may be
overthinking in a way.
Yeah, but also it gave them a time to post-COVID. The world is different. The cinema is different, and it's never really recovered. But not just post-COVID as well, because I think COVID and streaming going overboard sort of kind of around the same time. So sort of 2018, 2019. Well, when did Disney kick in? 2019? Was it early 2020? Disney Plus? Early 2020 or late 2019? It was around COVID, though, wasn't it?
I think it was late 2019. It came out the same year as Endgame and everything, because that was like what they tried to put on there, right?
Yeah. And then obviously we didn't get Black Widow was supposed to release, but that was when during the lockdowns they put it on Disney Plus and all that. So yeah, it was that 2-year period when COVID really screwed our lives up. It was also when streaming sort of exploded. Paramount Plus became a thing, and blah blah blah. And so when we all went back from COVID, the world was different and cinema hasn't caught up. And then they had the strikes, and all of a sudden, the studios had time to actually like take stock and look around and go, Jesus Christ, we've wasted a lot of money. And you know, and geez, like, and then a few big films started coming out that were supposed to re-kickstart the cinema, and they just
Furious, Transformers.
It just didn't work. Other than what, 3 films? Other than Barbie, Oppenheimer, and Top Gun, and Avatar,
and Jurassic World that came out post-pandemic.
Yeah.
They made $1 billion.
Those movies made what was kind of expected to make. Other than that, virtually every other film has massively lost, not just a little bit lost money, massively lost money. Any expensive project, anyway. I mean, you get films like what was the John Wick movie?
Or John Wick 4.
Well, John Wick 4 bombed massively.
Or you're saying nobody?
Nobody. I don't even think that was released at cinema, was it? Or was it?
Oh yeah. I saw it two or three times. It was great.
But that did really well. But one of the reasons why it did really well was because it had a budget of like $40 million.
Oh, it was cheap.
Yeah. So like the first John Wick movie, to be honest, that's why that did so well. Because not because it massively did well, but because it was so cheap to make, it did well. So yeah, but this, I think the strikes gave the studios chance to actually go, oh God, we need to stop. Star Wars and Marvel had started doing it, but then all the other studios have done it, and everybody's sort of gone, like we said, we all had this streaming war, we all fucking lost.
Yeah.
Except for Netflix, who have actually come out of this probably stronger. They were quite weak 3 years ago. Now they've come out of it looking good again. So.
Would you say Prime came out a little bit better than they expected to too?
Prime's still the second strongest.
That's what I would think.
But again, most people that have Prime do it to get free Amazon delivery. That is still like the number one reason why when people are asked, why have you got Prime? That's why. Or because they've got the Fire Stick. And it's basically, that's how you TV through the Fire Stick. So
if just we'll jump on to other topics, because I think it was either David or Bob talking about Jurassic World.
Sorry.
No, you're all good. I'm just thinking, what would if Prime were to add MGM Plus to like a Prime bundle for an extra $350 a month?
Yeah,
would you take it?
Yep.
I think that's the way to do it. If they really want to push that, I think that's the only way they actually get that out. I still tend to everything later.
I'm going to put an if on that though. If they ring fenced MGM's products and they put actually everything that MGM have done on there,
and strictly on there,
nowhere else. I want Bond on there. I know it gets a little bit complicated because MGM, particularly for the last few years, have been doing a lot of things in cooperation with other people. So you could argue Creed is actually
Warner Brothers.
And they've been
doing Rocky with the MGM. Huh?
Yeah, but anything they own the IP for, anything they strictly own the IP for, it's on there. It better not be anywhere on Prime. That's what I'm basically saying. If it's the MGM is where it goes, but also Prime actually start making MGM own products.
That's still so funky though, just because it gets back into, are you going to put it on MGM or are you going to put it on Prime? But that's if it's bundled together.
MGM and Prime are basically the same company now. It's MGM Prime. So there is very little MGM management left.
Yeah.
It's just MGM. Everything is going to be distributed through MGM Amazon Pictures. So basically what's going to happen is somebody at Prime, Jennifer Selke, will pick and choose. That's an MGM film. That's a Prime film. They're all being distributed through MGM Prime. The stuff that is already owned by MGM will have to be an MGM production. Stargate will have to be an MGM production.
Yeah.
Because MGM own Stargate. I know Amazon own MGM, but MGM owns Stargate. So you got to remember as well that MGM is still, in some ways, legally a separate entity.
Yeah.
These companies merged.
They could totally merge their streaming services at this point.
Yes. In lots of ways, I just wish they'd release MGM Prime and just have MGM Prime.
You said that, and my brain's just been like, hey, I like that ever since, you know?
But the
MGM
problem
Prime makes sense.
That's not what Prime are trying to do. That's not what Amazon are trying to do with Prime. They're trying to make Prime a hub service. They want you to go to Prime, not necessarily to watch Prime, but to get your service. So they want you to order your Apple, Paramount, etc. through that app on your Fire Stick. That's what they want you to do. They don't want to have. They're not Disney. Disney want to have one stream service, and so Hulu and everything is all going on to Disney, and you're getting that thing. And is it ESPN as well that you can get through it
on Disney? Yeah, that's part of their bundle, their triple bundle.
So they want that to be one bundle, one place thing. Amazon want to be where you go to pick your bundles. That's what Amazon want to be. They want to be a hub, a bit like I think Apple in America. Isn't Apple in America similar? Isn't Apple a bit like a bit of a hub thing?
It can be used as. I don't think they try to push it as much, but it definitely can be used as. But also, I don't have an iPhone or a MacBook or anything like that. I refuse. I don't like that technology all that much. I think it's very safe, but there's not much you can do with actually like exploring the interwebs, of course.
Yeah.
So I like the safety aspect of them, but I refuse to buy them. So I have no idea besides just having Apple Plus myself.
If you rent streaming, though, you can rent streaming and get a lot of things through Apple, can't you? Say we can't here. You see, Apple is just a channel. You can't rent. You can't do anything through it. It's just
you can rent and buy through Apple here.
Yeah, the only place we can do that, basically, Prime is the only real place we can sort of do that, and you can get other channels through it as well. Is Roku? Roku's that similar thing. It's an aggregator. Yeah, Roku like that is. We have that here as well. Roku's a similar sort of thing. Roku's not as big here though.
Yeah, Roku's like
kick off here.
It kicked off here, but it's not. I like that they've started making their own stuff. I could see it be utilized as a hub. It's just so weird.
When they tried to sell the Roku Fire Stick here, Amazon just sold the Fire Sticks for like half the price, and Amazon just so everyone just bought Fire Sticks. I actually had a Roku for a bit. But then I just replaced it with Fire Sticks over time because they kept doing it, like Amazon Day, and it's like you can get a Fire Stick for like £10. I'm not getting a Fire Stick. They did it. They lost. They sold it at a loss, but they destroyed it. Yeah.
It does suck that they're kind of that. I don't know if they have a parent company or anything, but it sucks that they're the small fish in the Amazon or Google. You either get your Chrome thingy or your Fire Stick, and those are both.
Somebody owns Roku. One of the big thingies. Somebody who owns Roku.
Or if I had to guess, it's gonna be like Spectrum or Time Warner or AT&T. Those may be all the same company now, too. Honestly, did I just name 3 companies that used to be different companies and now they're all the same company?
It's Anthony Wood. It's actually somebody owns Roku Inc. is an American publisher and produces streaming services. Blah blah blah. UK, Canada.
Owner of Roku.
Oh
wow! Here, I'll
Anthony Wood is the main owner.
Stop this screen and share.
They have revenue of $3.13 billion.
They're doing just fine. This guy, yeah.
There you go. Yeah,
he's from the UK. Okay.
Yeah, it's British, which is weird that it's better thing.
English-born American billionaire.
Yeah.
He went to A&M. He's a Texas boy to a degree. It could have been at any other school besides A&M, but
Yeah, Roku I had Roku for a bit, and they had a few movies and things, but it was sort of like not even B movies. It was like the D movies.
Yeah,
stuff you never heard of.
The only thing I think they've done that was actually like a bigger production is that the Al Yankovic movie.
Yeah. I forgot that. I keep forgetting that's a Roku movie.
And it was good, too. I watched it on an airplane because I don't have Roku. I think my old roommate had Roku in college, and that's the only time I've had it. But I enjoyed the hell out of Weird. It was fun.
If you want to talk about
yeah.
thing is, we're going to talk about it because I'm going to faint from hunger otherwise.
Well, we need you an IV bag in the back. Just
I had a pot noodle at 1:30, and I've not eaten anything since, and I'm starting to see spots.
It's
a bit lightheaded.
So, real quick, I just wanted to talk about David Koepp writing Jurassic World in this new one. It's the guy that wrote the original Jurassic Park movie. It's the guy that came back because Michael Crichton wrote his version of Jurassic Park, and they said this is like literally the book. It doesn't translate to screen. So David Koepp got that and wrote it into an actual screenplay, and that's what we got, Jurassic Park. He also wrote The Lost World. So he's fantastic. He was part of the writers team for Dominion, but he came in like not the fourth quarter, like the fifth or sixth quarter, like VFX kind of time. And we're like, all right, let's try to rewrite some stuff and try to like just formulate this better as a film. But he also gave us Indiana Jones, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, and Indiana Jones, The Dial of Destiny. He was the writer for both of those, which aren't awful films by any degree. I just don't think they're great Indiana Jones films necessarily at the end of the day. Maybe Dial of Destiny a little bit more so. I think Crystal Skull would have done better as a...
Yeah, I mean, he also wrote... I mean, like if we consider some of the stuff he's done that's not been great, The Mummy with Tom Cruise.
2017, yep.
He wrote Inferno. He wrote the Jack Ryan Shadow Recruit movie, which wasn't great, but that was more because they cast Pine in it. So he did Angels and Demons. He wrote Ghost Town, though, and Ghost Town was really good with Ricky Gervais. War of the Worlds.
Iffy.
He wrote Secret Window with Johnny Depp, which is one of Johnny Depp's better one. He wrote the screenplay for the first Spider-Man thing. Stir of Echoes, Snake Eyes. He's done some good movies over the years. Mission Impossible.
The original one?
Yeah, he wrote the screenplay for the original Mission Impossible and did the story.
Okay.
He wrote The Shadow, but that wasn't very good. Remembering that he did the screenplay for Carlito's Way.
I'm not familiar with that one.
It's one of Sean Penn's and Al Pacino's. Al Pacino is his best, Carlito's Way, but Sean Penn was thingy. He wrote Death Becomes Her, Toy Soldiers, Bad Influence.
Ayo.
And well, that was about it, really. Dark Angel. He worked on Dark Angel as well, which is the movie, not the series. But Bad Influence is a great movie.
Oh yeah.
Toy Soldiers. Didn't that win an Oscar?
I think it did. Okay, real quick. Keep naming things he wrote. I totally forgot to plug my laptop in, and I have 7 minutes, but my charger's right here. 1 second.
You want to ask him? No, I've got to the start of his career.
The start?
Well, let's talk about upcoming projects. Upcoming projects 10. Cold Storage, which he's done the novel and a screenplay. Something called Aurora, which he's done the novel and the screenplay. Article 2, he's done the screenplay. Pirate Latitudes, he's done the screenplay. The Wind. The new Green Hornet movie, he's done.
The new one or the one with Seth Rogen?
New one. A complete reboot. It's in production at the moment. The Green Hornet and Kato was the original movie. Bride of Frankenstein, Black Hawks, and the Themis Files. Black Hawks is it's the Terry Pratchett.
Cool
story. So he's a busy little bunny.
Very.
He's got some really cool projects, but I honestly look at his stuff that he's done, and he's hit and miss. I mean, he did that Kimmy. He wrote Kimmy, which is a brilliant animated thing. You Should Have Left. He did the screenplay for that as well. And I think I've seen that, but I can't remember who's in it. It's a horror, isn't it?
I'm not sure.
It was bloody thingy. The guy who's in everything. Kevin Bacon was in it. Of course, it was really good. That is British film set in Wales. In Wales. Amanda Seyfried is in it as well.
Cool.
Pretty Colin.
Great, yeah.
But it's hit and miss. Mummy missed. Inferno missed. Jack Ryan missed. Premium Rush. He wrote Premium Rush. That was a film nobody watched and was bloody brilliant. I've forgotten his name. Joseph Gordon-Levitt's in it, and Michael Shannon played the bad guy. He's Joseph Gordon-Levitt's a cycle delivery guy in New York. Go and watch it. It's one of those films that's just surprisingly good. Premium Rush. Joseph Gordon-Levitt in it. I'm gonna go watch it again. It's such a good film.
I don't have a pen.
I'll send you a message. Premium Rush.
Yeah. David kept coming back. Gives me hope at the very least. Even if, because he is kind of inconsistent, and you not necessarily inconsistent. I think he's much more consistent than he is inconsistent.
It's the big projects he does that seem to.
But I feel like a lot of those are almost. I mean, I have no substance for saying this, but like Dominion, his name's attached to Jurassic World Dominion, which wasn't the best movie in the world, but he came in way late in the game and was the person that tried to put the puzzle pieces back together, kind of deal. And maybe that could have happened with The Mummy, because who knows what they were trying to do with their whole dark universe at that time.
He directed Mordecai.
Yeah. He directed that?
Yeah.
Ooh, that wasn't the best.
He directed Stir of Echoes as well. That's a really good film.
Well, I think he's talented enough, and even his quote unquote, not necessarily flops, but his not so great films all tend to have really cool concepts, at least still, which kind of, that's great for at least a little sci-fi love. But the concepts are typically good enough where even a little bit shoddy execution is not necessarily okay, but like it's still serviceable. And I feel like his not so great movies are at least still dumb fun and not necessarily bad, So that's my hope. I'm hoping. Fingers crossed.
You can argue that things like Mummy weren't written badly.
No.
The Mummy was one of those odd films that
the direction
was a bit of a lull for like Tom Cruise as well. That it was there is nothing in that film that's wrong. It's just not right, if that makes sense. And you can't put your finger on what is wrong.
I think it's the direction. Because that's if usually if you can't put your finger on something, that means that your problem was probably from your number one person.
All of it. It's similar for like what's the films like? The thing about Tom Cruise movies, the second Jack Reacher film.
Yeah,
it just wasn't right.
No,
and I don't quite know why. It felt like I had no money spent on it. Which is weird for a Tom Cruise film. It felt like a B movie. It felt like it was just like filmed over a weekend or something. But you can't really quite put your finger on what's wrong with it. But The Mummy is one of those films you can't quite. The acting's good. The writing seems okay. They had enough money spent on it. The story was okay, but it wasn't right. And I don't quite know why.
I'm not positive. Jurassic World Dominion, right? Not Jurassic Park Dominion. That might be a different movie. I don't know the exact. I'm just spitballing.
Yeah, it's the split between. So he did Jurassic Park. He did Lost World, and he did Jurassic World Dominion. Yeah.
Okay.
He didn't write it. He producer on it.
Well, if there is an extended version, I bet you it has something to do with him. That would be my assumption. I'm not positive, but that would be my assumption. So now that we've talked just briefly about airbending and firebending and all these things, and dinos, and we've talked plenty of Stargate, which is necessary in these trying times. Shall we talk about these Oscar nominations and snubs? Because there were 3 or 4 or 5 pretty big snubs, not necessarily snubs that I would consider snubs, but general kind of public snubs. I'd say there's one snub for me that made me sad, man. But
baby, let's have a look. What we were, and then we have to try to decide whether we care about the Oscars.
I do. I'm a sucker. I do. That's why I moved to LA. Not the Oscars, but all this stuff. So
yeah.
But we're the plan for this real quick is we're gonna go over the best picture, best actor, best supporting actor, best supporting actress, best actress, and then we're gonna talk our snubs, and then after that we can kind of dive into the technical categories and play with it as we feel. So to start us off, actor in a leading role, the nominees are Bradley Cooper for Maestro, Coleman Domingo for Rustin, Paul Giamatti for The Holdovers, Cillian Murphy for Oppenheimer, and Jeffrey Wright for American Fiction. Before we decide who we want to win or who we expect to win, how many of these have you seen?
I haven't seen Rustin. Is it called Rustin? What's it called?
Uh-huh.
I don't know that.
I've only seen Holdovers, Oppenheimer, and Maestro.
I've seen The Holdovers, I've seen Oppenheimer, and I've seen American Fiction. Bradley Cooper's going to win that.
You think so?
He was phenomenal in Maestro.
I think so as well, but I think it's Paul Giamatti. Just according to the award seasons, Paul Giamatti has won the SAG Award. I think he won. I don't know if he won the BAFTA. I know he won the Critics' Choice Award as well. And then earlier award season, Cillian was winning everything. I think it's a two-horse race, but I did really like Maestro, and Bradley Cooper could sneak in there, but I still think it's a two-horse race, and I would give it to Paul Giamatti.
My answer on who I thought actually did the best performance, not the best movie. I think Holdovers is probably my favorite movie out of those that I've seen. I haven't seen American Fiction, though, I don't think. I haven't seen Rustin.
I haven't seen.
I don't even know what that is. And I love Paul Giamatti. But Bradley Cooper in Maestro is mesmerizing. And I don't use that word often. If you're a regular SciTrekker, you'll know. I've probably never used that word before in my life. But you cannot stop looking at him. It's weird.
Well, I agree with you. He's fantastic. And I really did like Maestro. I just don't know if the performance is something that the Oscars, that the Academy will give to him,
Well, I'm not thinking about it at that level. I'm thinking acting. What out of those performances, which is the one do I go respect? And that's Bradley Cooper. And you've got to love it as well when a film nearly kills a man.
6 years for one scene, and then
he's phenomenally good in it. It's terrifying, and it did nearly kill him.
Yeah,
boring film. God, it's boring. I don't like my films to actually be like. I don't want to learn anything, and I don't want to come out of it bigger than when I went in. I know I don't want it to grow my soul. I want stuff to blow up.
See, I don't mind growing my soul at all, but if you're going to grow my soul, I'd rather it feel like Oppenheimer, where it was 3.5 hours long or 3+ hours long, and it really only felt like it was a 2-hour film, versus Maestro, where it was 2 hours long and it felt like it was Oppenheimer or Killers of the Flower Moon length. I agree with you a lot on Bradley Cooper. I think if I'm giving it, I think Paul Giamatti will win. I think Cillian is very close. It could go either way. Cooper would be the surprise there. I think I have to inch it out to Cillian Murphy. That performance is just...
He is brilliant in it. He's a brilliant actor as well.
So if you
would be my favorite
from the Academy, who's winning?
Actors in a supporting role.
All right, so we got nominees are Sterling K. Brown for American Fiction, Robert De Niro for Killers of the Flower Moon, Robert Downey Jr. for Oppenheimer, Ryan Gosling for Barbie, and Mark Ruffalo for Poor Things.
Ooh, right now.
How many of these have you seen? Who do you think would win based upon
American Fiction? I've seen the other 4. So I've seen Ryan Gosling.
Same.
The Barbie film shouldn't be winning any Oscars. Maybe for writing or something like that. Or effects. It shouldn't be. The actors, they were playing fucking Barbie and he was playing Ken. It's not. They were having fun with it. It's not right. Robert De Niro just played Robert De Niro in Killers of the Flower Moon. Robert Downey Jr. was amazing in Oppenheimer. And Mark Ruffalo was actually really, really good in Poor Things.
I think it goes to Robert Downey Jr., both personally and the way I think the Academy would be thinking about it. I think it's RDJ all day.
Yeah, I think he'll win
Ruffalo may be able to sneak in there. I don't think so, but I think if anybody does, it would be Ruffalo.
He's in the conversation, but for me, it's RDA.
Yeah, but I'm with you about Gosling.
You know, sometimes you get these performances, and every so often you forget who it is. I always think about Dustin Hoffman did this. You think Dustin Hoffman in like Tootsie, or even like Hook, you know, when he played Captain Hook, and all the way through you're going, is that Dustin Hoffman?
I don't think I knew it was Dustin Hoffman until I looked at his IMDb years later, and just like,
because he's so good. He becomes the character. He's a phenomenally good actor. That was Robert Downey Jr. in Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
Or at some point you think, oh my God, is that Iron Man? Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Charlize Theron in Monster.
Yes. Perfect example.
Freaky. Amazing acting. It's a completely different person almost.
Oh, totally. And RDJ did that, and did that after frickin' Iron Man 2, which is the thing. Because I never thought I'd be able to see him as anything other than Iron Man. Now, in my brain, he has 4 distinct characters. He's Charlie Chaplin. He's the dude from Tropic Thunder. He's Iron Man. And he's I can't remember the character's name, but he's the dude from Oppenheimer, you know?
Yeah.
The character name, the historical person's name.
Damn it. Really famous person in World War II history.
Yeah, someone I should be able to know, but my brain's going to the actors right now, not the history. But no, I'm with you. But Ruffalo, I feel like, also did that in Poor Things, not to the same degree by any means, but
the Poor Things movie is a different kettle of fish, and it's one of those films. I'm never watching it again, but I could not keep my eyes off it.
Oh, I could watch that once a week for the rest of my life.
Oh no, it's not for me. But yeah.
Have you seen any other Yorgos Lanthimos films?
No, I don't think I have. I must have done though, because I've read about him once or twice, but I must have done at some point.
Killing of a Sacred Deer, The Lobster. There are a couple of ones.
I've seen The Lobster.
Okay. That's I love it. It's so weird, but it's so good. I love Yorgos Lanthimos films.
It reminds me of the early Taika Waititi stuff before he went commercial.
Yeah. I think Taika was probably, which is the first time I think this sentence will ever come out of my mouth. I think Taika actually holds the reins in a little bit more than Yorgos does, which is the weirdest thing I think I've ever said in my life.
You look at Bojo Rabbit. That's not right, is it?
Jojo Rabbit.
Jojo Rabbit.
It's such a good movie. I cried.
That could have so easily been the guy.
It won an Oscar.
Yeah, it was freaking. I want to eat. Move on.
Yes. So while we're talking about while we're on the Yorgos Lanthimos kick over here, we've got nominees for actress in the leading role. For Naiad, we have Annette Bening, Lily Gladstone for Killers of the Flower Moon, Sandra Huller for Anatomy of a Fall, Carey Mulligan for Maestro, and Emma Stone for Poor Things.
I think Emma Stone's going to... If Emma Stone doesn't win this, I'd be shocked.
The only person I can think that would win it besides her would be Sandra Huller. And as much as I love Lily Gladstone, and people are going to say it's going to be her, she's an amazing actress, but this is the same reason Margot Robbie's not on this role. I think Lily Gladstone very much deserved to be nominated, but it's the same reason why I don't think Margot should even be nominated for actress in a leading role. Is it's not outside of her wheelhouse at all. This is just another day at the office.
Almost a caricature of herself.
Oh, totally.
There was no effort. Right. Emma Stone put everything on the line for Poor Things.
Literally everything.
Her entire body was on the line.
Physical, mental, and mental in a couple different levels of it too, because she technically played 2 different characters in the movie while still being the same character, which is just weird in the way they did it.
The effort, if I know these things aren't based on effort, but the effort that went into Emma Stone's character in Poor Things was well beyond everything else. Annette Bening in Naiad.
I haven't seen Naiad. It's the only one I haven't.
I did watch that. It's okay, but
I love her though.
No, for me, Emma Stone is the only one. It's the only one in the conversation.
I agree.
Her portrayal is mind altering. It's it's amazing.
I wouldn't be surprised if Sandra or Lily like snuck in there, but I'm thinking 98% it's Emma Stone, and the other two have 1% for me. As much as I adore both the other actresses and their projects, because Anatomy of a Fall is my favorite film of 2023. I think it was my favorite film, and I think the best film. And that's the only reason it was my favorite. And there are a lot of people, I think most of the people that would watch that wouldn't agree with it. I just think of it from I put my Hollywood highbrow glasses on real quick instead of my rose-tinted glasses.
Yeah, I mean, I'm waiting for the first Wonka nomination. That was my favorite film last year. When we get a Wonka nomination?
Well, we're not getting any in the 4 or 5 we're talking about till the technical stuff, but we'll scroll through those real fast so we can try to get them. Because it needed something. So, best actress in a supporting role. We have our nominees: Emily Blunt for Oppenheimer, Danielle Brooks for The Color Purple, America Ferrera for Barbie, Jodie Foster for Naiad, and Divine Joy Randolph for The Holdovers. So, how many of these have you seen?
Even in Barbie. Never mind that she was so standout. It's Jodie Foster in Naiad, and you do need to go watch Naiad. It is a great movie. Jodie Foster is brilliant in it.
Okay. It's hard. It's hard to say anything just because I haven't seen it, but I would think it would go to Divine Joy Randolph, hands down, right here.
But I also had Naiad. Holdovers is great, but Jodie Foster is brilliant, and Jodie Foster's I think there's a political element sometimes to the Oscars, and Jodie Foster's sort of a bit of a rising star again at the moment. That could be enough that she could win it.
Her season of True Detective just got like 100% on both Rotten Tomatoes and audience, right?
It's stunning.
Like, they haven't done that since McConaughey and Harrelson, or even getting
it's close. Weird as hell, but it's stunning.
I love me some Jodie Foster. I even like Sterling K. Brown was one of the best supporting actors, and Jodie's one of the best supporting actresses. What was the movie where it was kind of like John Wick, but Jodie Foster was the doctor in the hotel in this kind of like...
Yeah, that was great. That was
it was
very John Wick feel. It was whatever the name of the hotel was, wasn't it?
Hotel Artemis. There we go. Hotel Artemis. There we are. Teamwork makes the dream work,
Yeah. Emily Blunt was good in Oppenheimer. It's not Oscar winning, but she was good in it.
I agree, but do you think Emily Blunt deserves a nomination over Florence Pugh for it? I don't.
Probably not.
I love Emily Blunt, but I think Florence Pugh did more outside of her typical wheelhouse and just did more for the movie itself.
If you think of it from an acting point of view, Emily Blunt was
That's
just
difficult.
Blunt. But yeah, no. And America Ferrara in Barbie, that's just I don't even know if she's got the name on there.
The only reason I was watching the John Campea show yesterday, and I think he actually came out with a good reasoning for it. There's like Dame Judi Dench, one of the best supporting actresses Oscars that she does have, is because she has one scene in a movie, and that one scene in the movie is literally like the thesis for the movie. And even though American Ferrera has plenty of scenes, it's kind of like that, where that one speech, at the end of Barbie, where she's like, "This is the trouble of a woman," and all these kind of things. That is probably the thesis for Barbie.
Yeah, I think I felt like my brain sort of, I had white noise during that bit. I was like, I've enjoyed this film. It's not bad. It's made me think, and I've realized that men are wankers. But I already
knew that. It's
and then she started speaking. I started thinking about the Kirk speech at the end of like Star Trek, The Undiscovered Country or something instead, probably, or when he won the last, when that last time Man United won the league and Fergie did a speech on the thing. That's my brain went to that instead.
Yeah, no, I don't necessarily agree with it, but I think that it's a good at least theory for the reasoning behind the nomination. Because she's not like a pivotal part of the film at all. Her daughter's way more pivotal in the film, but that one speech is literally just the thesis for the movie. So I get it to a degree for that. But anyway, let's do feature film and add that just to the Best Picture just because there's Across the Spider-Verse in here, and that should have been nominated for Best Picture too. But anyway, we'll get to that.
Piss off. So sometimes
Really?
you can say some random stuff. Best Picture. Animated movie. I think it'll win.
It's going to win nominated or animated feature hands down. But literally, name
The Boy and the Heron.
Boy and the Heron is the only one I think, and Robot Dreams and Boy and the Heron could upset it.
I was going to say this when you think, I thought, has there been a good animated movie this year? Then you listed the list, and I'm like, oh no, God, and Elemental was really good, and I didn't see Nimona.
I haven't
Robot
seen
Dreams was really, really good, and Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse was really, really good. The best film on there's Spider-Man, but most entertaining, the film I enjoyed the most, but The Boy and the Heron was really, really good. I think that's going to win.
I love The Boy and the Heron, but I think Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse still is a little bit better of a film. It's just so fucking good, and like the way they made it that good and still have that much in there, and without it feeling convoluted, and it's just as much a Gwen story as it is a Miles story, and it doesn't take away from either of the characters at all. It just adds to. It's just wow. I would have put this over 2 or 3 of the different Best Picture nominations in there, in the actual like Best Picture. Which, speaking of, we will get back to all these down here.
Yeah, just skip this because I need to eat.
Where? There we are.
My stomach has actually started to eat itself.
Hey, that's fasting. I haven't actually had breakfast yet either, so I'm with you. I will break fast.
I gotta double check my children have eaten as well. They're gonna kick up. It's 9 o'clock at night. We haven't eaten. Yeah, we never cook for you on a Wednesday. You teenagers.
Anyway, hello, here's Kelly. Okay, Kelly. Sorry, Carrie. If I can read. No idea. I wonder if my question is Jennifer Salke, head of Amazon Pictures, the same Jennifer Salke that hosts a segment on MSNBC?
Yes.
It is?
No, it isn't.
Oh. I was like, I don't know.
No, it's not. But wouldn't it be good if it was?
It'd be pretty funny.
No,
Jay's getting hangry.
I am getting a little hangry.
He's getting hangry over there. Jay's the
I
hangry one.
I knew this was going to backfire on me because we always talk for bloody hours. And I knew it was going to backfire on me.
Don't worry. We'll only get to about 3.5 hours on the stream.
No, we won't. We'll get to about 1 hour and 8 minutes.
Well, we got to speed through this thing real quick.
I haven't seen American Fiction.
Okay, so the nominees are American Fiction, Anatomy of a Fall, Barbie, The Holdovers, Killers of the Flower Moon, Maestro, Oppenheimer, Past Lives, Poor Things, and Zone of Interest.
Past Lives was really good as well, actually. It was really good. I really like Past Lives.
Past Lives is if Anatomy of a Fall isn't my favorite film of the year, Past Lives is. Those have been kind of interchangeable for me since I've seen them. Tell your son to go to McDonald's. Tell him to do a McDonald's drive-by.
We might have to actually go to McDonald's because my wife was off today and we thought she'd gone shopping. Then we suddenly realized at 4 o'clock this afternoon she hasn't. So we don't know what we've got in. So I might actually end up having to go to McDonald's, which is ridiculous. But anyway.
If your son has a bike, give him your phone with the app on it and just let him go for it.
Yeah. I love for my problems.
So how many of these have you not seen, I guess?
I've not seen American Fiction. I've seen the rest. I haven't seen Zone of Interest. I don't know what Zone of Interest is.
Me either. I'm in the exact same boat as you. Those are the 2 I haven't seen. Zone of Interest, though, I've heard it is one of the ones that I would take out and replace with Across the Spider-Verse, strictly because it is one of those movies that has been. It's not supposed to be the same level as Schindler's List, but it's one of those movies that's just. It's a harsh subject. I don't remember the subject topic, but it's a harsh subject, and it's one of those movies you're only ever going to watch once, really, or maybe every 20 years kind of deal.
I can wrap this up really easily in that I think the film I enjoyed the most was The Holdovers, and I actually really, really enjoyed that. But I think Oppenheimer should win.
I think it's either going to be Anatomy of a Fall or Oppenheimer, and then Holdovers or Maestro could sneak in there. Yeah. And
Barbie wins.
There's a chance Barbie will. I can't not say there's a chance. Yeah. But it will be. I'll stop watching the Oscars because not because I don't hate Barbie. I think it's just a fine movie, and I adore the writers. But It's not even their best films.
Wreck the place if Barbie wins.
Yeah,
there'll be a bunch of angry, bearded Americans, not yourself, that will run in and just go nuts.
Yeah,
sunburnt on the back of their necks and just going crazy.
Well, at that point, I don't want to scream agenda about anything or whatever, but like that would be because the thing. So now, okay, real quick. Now that we're done with, we said who we want to win, who we think is going to win, all that kind of stuff. We can bring that page back up in a heartbeat. Snub wise, two of the biggest snubs that we've gotten are Greta Gerwig for Barbie directorial, and then Margot Robbie as Barbie in Barbie for Best Actress. The same reason it should not win Best Picture. I'm fine with the nomination, but it's not outside of anybody's wheelhouse. It's nothing special. It doesn't bring anything new to anything. Yes, it was difficult to make. Yes, it's a beautiful, very interesting film. It's intricate. It has great set design. I could blush about it all day. It should probably win set design. If it doesn't win set design, I'll be confused.
Technical, I'd be okay with it winning something. I mean, visual effects, or there's a lot of visual stuff in there that's very interesting. Best movie?
No, it's not even in. It's not in the ballpark. It's not even. It's one of the films I would take out and replace with Across the Spider-Verse in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. I forgot.
The only thing I honestly think is more ridiculous than Ryan Gosling getting a nomination is if I've forgotten her name. If Margot Robbie had got a nomination for this. Margot Robbie shouldn't. That film Babylon that she did, that was some acting.
That's some freaking acting.
Not Barbie. She just smiled and went, "Okay," all the way through the film. It's not
like. I mean, not to beat a dead horse down, but it's just not outside of her wheelhouse. It's something that it's just another day at the office for her. It's not Emma Stone, who literally had to embody two different people at different stages and then and literally grow as a human being within 2 hours of film. It's just not comparable. And Greta Lee for Past Lives, I think she's the biggest snub out of all these people. I think Greta Lee for Past Lives should have been nominated for Best Actress or at least Best Supporting Actress.
Actually, yeah. I think she's a big on the rise star, Greta Lee.
Oh, I really hope so. There's
a few big projects coming up that she's going to be starring in. Isn't she going to be in Tron 3 as well? Which I think she's the main person in it. I think. She'll be the human. She'll be the main human side of it. I'm
okay with if Jared Leto's acting alongside another great actor, he's a phenomenal. If he does kind of a B movie, he ends up being a B actor, But
if he turns up for the paycheck, it'll be shocking. But if he actually turns up, could be really good. But he won't. Let's be honest.
I got faith in Jared Leto. I like him. I think he gets a bad rap, but he's been trying to stay in the zeitgeist superhero for too long.
Well, my problem with Jared Leto is that I think he thinks he's an artist, which he is. And he's a musician and all that sort of thing. I think he thinks things like, and I'm one of those people. I actually loved him as Joker. I'm really gutted we didn't get more Jared Leto as Joker because I think he could have been brilliant. The film he was in wasn't great, but I actually liked him. I liked that version of the Joker. I thought it had possibilities. But for films like Morbius, he just turned up. He's not acting, but I think he thinks it's beneath him.
See, I think there's the chance. I don't think so when it comes to acting. I think he thinks that
Morbius.
I think that's how he talks to people, and I think that's how he interacts with people on social media. I think that's kind of how he presents himself typically. But with Morbius, they literally cut out about 80 to 90% of that movie. Tyrese has said 99% of his scenes are not there. He's in maybe I think 13 minutes of the movie where he said he was one of he was like the sidekick to Morbius in the movie originally kind of deal. I just think there's so much of that, and I just don't trust the way. I mean, just look at the way Sony put out Venom. They don't care about what they're making.
Oh no, and it's almost like they just get drunk people to edit
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Except for Sony, it's just like the good people go to sorry for the Spider-Man films. The good people are on Spider-Man, and it's like all the kids on work experience do Venom and Morbius. It's like, excuse me, do we just Control Alt C this? Yeah, just do it. And it's like, yeah, they're terrible. Should I click this bit out because it seems quite important to the movie? Yeah, just click it out. It's fine. And like, and I think it might explain a big part. It's fine. Just delete it. It's like it's just bad. But Spider-Man,
I feel like that's what happened to Morbius. I
don't blame Jared Leto for Morbius being shit. Don't get me wrong. I just don't think he was particularly good in it either. I think the whole film wasn't. I don't think Matt Smith was very good in it. I think he's a brilliant actor. But I just get the feel that Jared Leto thinks some projects are beneath him. And whether he does that for... It's with which Jared Leto will turn up for Tron.
That's a good point. And with just Morbius' mindset, he was at the point where he was not in a good public position, even after House of Gucci was the thing he did after frickin' Suicide Squad, and neither one of those put him in like a good public zeitgeist. I feel like he wanted that superhero movie that could bring him back, and then it just turned into a mess, and then he was angry that he was there half the time.
Yeah, quite possibly. Yeah, quite possibly.
That speculation, but getting back to the snubs, Greta Lee for we got left how we got from Greta Lee to Morbius.
Gerwig for the director on your third thing, another Greta. I just thought she was an environmentalist, and apparently she makes movies too.
Greta Gerwig?
Yeah.
Oh, she's an actress first and foremost. Now she's a director first and foremost. But she was
that little chick going around telling everybody to recycle. That's her. You don't. That's a joke, mate. But I can't remember her name now. I just assumed you'd know her name. Greta, environmental.
Greta Thunberg.
Greta Thunberg. Yeah, God, she's irritating, that girl. I'm an environmentalist, and I think that girl should be.
I'm the same way. I'm from oil country, and I got friends driving Teslas around, and I'd say live with the planet, you know. But good God, Greta Thunberg's
annoying. Yeah, she's really annoying.
It's so bad. Anyway,
Gerwig though for
Greta Gerwig. She's not annoying. She's excellent.
Yeah. Dave, I'm gonna pass out shortly. I really need to go eat. I'm actually going a little lightheaded. And it could be, I could honestly say anything at this point.
You're gonna start voguing for us again in here in a minute.
Yeah. Greta Gerwig. She deserved to be on this list more than anybody else in that film deserved to be on this list.
Yes.
Because at least she did create something that's visually interesting, told, whether you agree or don't agree with the agenda behind the movie and blah blah blah. I would just say, look, if you're going to stress out about a film that basically says, girl power and women, and has to go about the patriarch, I'm just like, if I was a woman and I just lived through the last, all of humanity, I might be a bit annoyed at men as well. So if you get the odd film that calls us out,
yeah, if it bothers you, that's saying something about you over actually that. Yeah. If we want to just dissect the film, that's a whole different thing. But
it's a different, So there's the thing. I just thought it was really hilarious watching moms walk out with their little girls after watching a Barbie movie and just going, "Please God, don't ask me any questions."
Yeah, their faces were.
Mommy,
it's like rushing kids to the car kind of deal. It was great.
Yeah, it was like, Mommy, why should I hate Daddy? Because you shouldn't, honey. Good. Barbie said I should hate Daddy. And it's like that's kind of what I felt it could be. I keep thinking this looks like fruit.
It's called a snowball. It's not. It's
a snow globe. Yeah, I can lick it. But I've got two sons, and one of them is useless, so I could eat him.
Is he the thicker of the two?
Well, he doesn't. He's got no fat on him, so I don't think he'd be flavoursome though either. I think he'd be chewy.
Flavor. Hey, I'll send you some Cajun season and help you out a little bit.
Yeah, and he vapes, so God knows what toxins I'm sticking in either.
Hey,
So
the
he's
sugar's really good on the
he's
inside.
14. He shouldn't be vaping, but he also keeps getting those illegal ones that are like got 10 times more iron in them than you should have. But anyway, I've kind of gone off topic. See, I'm getting hungry now, so I'm actually starting to get a bit like hunger drunk.
It's not entertaining at all.
If she was on this list, I wouldn't have had a major problem, but I would argue was what you take off.
Yeah, that's the thing. Another, to bring it back to the John Campea episode yesterday that I was watching, was he made a good point in there's 5 best director nominees and there's 10 best pictures. Half the people that are nominated for best picture are not going to be nominated for best director. And who would you push out? Who would you push out? I haven't seen Zone of Interest, so maybe the guy that directed that, can't remember his name off the top of my head. Maybe, but that's just because I haven't seen it. So I don't know. You know, plus there's half a dozen other films that I would put on that list, or put her in that, or put somebody else in that position that we would put her in, et cetera, et cetera. Everyone's saying,
I don't need to get my food delivered. I just need him to stop talking. Actually, I feel like I've done more talking in the last half an hour than you. But let me go. No, sorry.
Yeah, you are free to leave when you need.
Oh, see you. I thought I owed you for every Sunday for the last 2 years, but okay, if I'm free to go. I mean, excuse me, miss. Can I go home, please? If people could stop putting food-related comments in there, that'd be great. If you stop teasing me.
This is like you need to pee and just like talking about waterfalls for the last half hour or something.
For once, I don't need to pee. I think I'm so dehydrated. I think my body is starting to reabsorb like nutrients.
It makes sense.
But yeah, I don't think. Right. It seems to me that films that are popular, like Barbie, have to go and they have to do something on the Oscar list. I mean, I know like Avatar and stuff on this for effects and stuff, isn't it? But it's not really on there for anything else.
No.
But it's just because Barbie was a popular movie. Yes, I agree. And it had an agenda, and it is maybe even, you could even argue, if you're a feminist or just politically minded, that it's an important movie. But does it deserve to be this heavily on this Oscar list? Is it a good movie? And I'd argue not really.
It's all right. And that's the thing where I adore Noah Baumbach and Greta Gerwig. I'm very excited that they're getting married. That makes me happy because they're good Hollywood, you know. But hey, they can be pushed. I don't even think Barbie that much of an agenda pusher. There's a couple little like sentences that might kind of be.
There's a matriarch agenda there, undertone throughout the film. And there is some stuff in there that's for kids, and it's still a Barbie movie. But there is an agenda there, and I actually think it's quite a positive agenda. I think it's a positive conversation to have. In isolation, you could say that the movie is one-sided and whatever else, but we don't live in isolation.
Yeah,
I think I would say that one film sort of like that focuses on the matriarch compared to a century of patriarch movies. I'm on medicine at the moment, and I'm thinking that's probably got some calories in it, right? If I just eat that.
If you've taken medicine, that might be why you're so hungry or getting delirious.
No, Mike, I haven't eaten for 8 hours. That's why I'm hungry.
That might help. Yeah.
But yeah. So but yeah, there's I could just eat the whole thing. The paper's probably got calories in it as well. But yeah, compared to a century of films that have basically said that men are stronger than women and women should just run around screaming and going, like every Indiana Jones film, is so fair enough. The politics I get. I would just argue that other than the visuals of that film, is it particularly well directed? Is it particularly well written? Is it particularly well anything? And I would say no. It's it's quite two-dimensional for a lot of the actual movie.
And even whenever they get into the three-dimensional aspects, they tend to step on their own toes. Like at the end of the movie, like the whole Parliament being just Barbies again is like the messages that they made that would have actually, because if I like you said, I don't mind the agenda because I feel like it is a positive agenda generally. But they screwed themselves over at the end and completely stepped on their own toe in the aspect of, oh wait, now this doesn't talk to everybody. It went from okay, well, this is mostly a girls movie, mostly a gal movie, you know, but guys are going to watch it and it might be able to help them bridge the gap to be like, okay, well, maybe we need to do this a little bit better. Maybe we need to act like this a little bit better. Sure, it says that and it kind of does it decently, not great, but decently throughout the film. And at the very end, they're like, yeah, kids are living on the beach again. They don't have houses. Nobody's in Parliament besides the Barbies, and everybody else that's not a Barbie is screwed. And you're just like, what did I just watch? By the end of it, it's still good. I don't have any faults with it, and like you said, I think it's a decent agenda. I just don't think it is pushing pushing any boundaries for the filmmaking perspective. Maybe in the zeitgeist of popularity and the pop culture. But from a filmmaking perspective for the Academy, I don't think it does much. It's Noah Baumbach and Greta Gerwig's weakest screenplay each. And they're both phenomenal writers, but it's both of their weakest screenplays.
Yeah, I would agree with that, even though because I saw somebody mention pizza in the comments, I might have stopped listening for chunks. But I was generally thinking, and then he wrote steak as well, and I'm thinking, oh, steak. Oh, baby. But yeah, no, I would agree with you. Out of the stuff that Greta's done, this is the weakest.
By far.
It's been financially the most successful. And you always get this with the Oscars, that there's a bunch of films there that the normal cinema goer would like, well, I'm not watching that. I generally have a hand on my heart and always go out of my way not to watch whoever wins Best Picture. What's for today? Yeah, let's do that. Once a day, I'll just eat on video. I generally don't want to watch the best pick. Whatever wins Best Picture, I'm like, well, that's going to be boring as crap. I'm not watching it. I had fish and chips yesterday. But there's always some film in there that's just popular, so it's in.
Yeah.
All right, let's go now, because genuinely, I know this is going to sound a little bit weird. My butt started to feel dizzy. And I don't think that's a good thing. It may also be because I've been sat down for pretty much 12 hours. So, you've been sitting and not eating for that long? Well, I started work at 8 o'clock this morning. And at
8:30 now.
Getting my lunch at 1 o'clock, I haven't moved. Go to the toilet. And my butt it feels dizzy.
So we're gonna have a SciTrek mukbang section now, and every day Jay will just eat.
Why is Kerry being mean to me? That's not my only problem. What? I've got.
She's on MCubed. She's on my side now, but when we're over there, she's on my side.
I love you, Kerry. Stop being mean to me. I need to eat.
Loved. I still love you, Kerry.
I'm also losing my hair. That's another problem. Why don't we list all of Jay's problems?
I thought it was coming back a little bit.
No.
It's thicker than it usually is, huh? No, well, not like coming back. It's just more.
It's just a bit longer. Yeah, I'm losing my hair. I'm fat. Actually, that could counter that by not eating, actually. So I should even out. I'm a bit fat. Jokes aside, go get some food. Yeah, I need to go eat. I also only got about 4 hours sleep last night, so that's not helping either.
Oh, that doesn't help at all.
No, I'm still awake at like 3 a.m. I don't know what it was.
Just sitting there and not being able to go to sleep, or
yeah, just lying there. It's like, come on, go sleep.
You were planning out your next month of SciTrek videos, I know.
Yeah, and then I had to get up at 7.
Oh, come on, man. Yeah, I would have napped at some point. Oh, almost. I thought
I'm fine. Oh, I messed my glasses up. And the rest of the video is just me there going. Slip into a food coma.
It's not something that I think most of the audience here would have seen. So it's something that and it's not something that I guess would be funny, like the Frank versus Russia thing, to like really be like a funny thing to go into. But if you like comedians, if you like comedy, yada yada yada, one of the funniest podcasts that had ever been was the Church of What's Happening Now, which is Joey Diaz, Uncle Coco. You know, I love Joey Diaz. He's one of the funniest people on this freaking planet, hands down. But he used to eat 2,000 milligrams of an edible a day. Like he would just, and that's a lot. That's a lot. Most people need about 10 milligrams, 20 milligrams. This dude's eating 2,000 milligrams. So he would give his producer Lee Syed, this funny, just overweight, bald white dude, just sitting here, just happy as can be, 2,000 milligrams, just eat alongside him. And there are multiple videos where they're funny, different little clips. There's one clip where Lee is so stoned he completely forgets to put, I think it's like Patrice O'Neal or somebody. Joey Diaz is having a full conversation with the guest on there, and Lee's so stoned from the edibles that Joey gave him, he doesn't take the camera off of him for I think 12 or 13 minutes. It's just sitting on Lee, just looking at the computer, just clicking little different things, just kind of hanging out. There's another stream where I think he did it after a Church of Happening Now, and he did it like it on his own YouTube channel or something. He literally ate the edible, sat there, fell asleep on stream, woke up during stream, and just started kind of like chuckling at himself an hour and a half later kind of deal. Like the guy's great. And now he started his own stand-up, so I'm really happy for the guy. But that's a good little funny thing if y'all ever need a...
One of my first ever lives, a guy called Spencer was on, and we were talking about Star Trek, and he'd drawn on himself and realized halfway through that it was permanent marker. And then he drank so much red wine, he fell asleep, genuinely fell asleep. You can go back and watch it.
You told Stormy and I about this at one point, or you told Matt and I about it because Stormy knew about it, I think.
Yeah, because Stormy was there. Stormy there going, Spencer. And then, honest to God, he fell off his chair. And me and Storm ourselves laughing.
I would love to see both of y'all's reactions to that.
Honestly, it's about our second. I'll double check to see if it's on the live.
You should clip that and put it on SciTrek so it gets.
I have done. It's one of my very, very earliest videos, and it's called "Why We Love Spencer." So if you search Spencer on our channel, it'll come up, and it's "Why We Love Spencer." I think it's called, and it was very early on. Yeah. Why We Love Spencer. It's only ever had 98 views, actually. Over 2 years ago now, and you just watch Spencer get more and more drunk.
It was on. Was it Mystery Machine? What was it called again?
No, it's on SciTrek. I'm going to put it on the community page. You guys, I'll put it on the Facebook group. You guys and I will share it, and you guys can go and have a look, because honestly, the man is just off his face. So me and Stormy just laughing at him. There you go. It's on the Facebook group, guys. Go and have a look at that. It's funny.
Beautiful. SciTrek Facebook group for people coming in here late as well.
Early SciTrek as well. Early SciTrek. But yeah, right. I'm gonna go home now. No, I'm already home. See how fucked I am. Oh man, it's been a long day.
That made me chuckle too hard. I think they're changing the ad. Just eats to Jay doesn't eat. LOL. So the question, my mental debate: do I stay here and continue this Academy talk for a little bit, or are we calling it a day? You think?
You can do what you like, mate. That's you live in America. It's the state of freedom.
Yeah, but I'm also in California, and that's not really all that. You know.
As long as you don't mind having an electric car, it's the state of freedom. And as long as you don't mind not having ugly people. There's no ugly people in California, is there? They've all.
Oh no, there's a lot. There's a lot.
Oh, I thought you made all them move to Ohio and places like that.
No. The Ohioans move out here for better weather, and then you get stuck with all the ugly ones.
Who needs that?
But they bring their hot friends, and then they typically leave the ugly ones. And then, if Hollywood might be the most diverse place in the world, but it is segregated between ugly and beautiful.
I'm just gonna point out a question: is that David B? I hate you, Dave.
I haven't eaten since. You know what? Jay's complaining about not eating in 8 hours. I ate one meal yesterday, 17 hours ago, and that one meal was after a day of fasting, and I had eaten 36 hours before that.
Yes, but we've seen all your drink cups. We know you are only about 4 foot tall. I weigh 15 stone. I'm all British beef, baby. I need calories.
I almost just broke my laptop spitting it.
you Americans don't need much. I'm an actual man. I need food, damn it. And I need that food to have one point been alive and kicking somebody.
Well, David's doing better than both of us. Not a dieting ad. This is I could go all carnivore dieting ad if you want me to, but
No, I'm going now. Our live videos keep ending with me going, "Please, Harris, let me leave."
Or Stormy. When Stormy's not here, I have to take up the American aspect. I can't be my Texan self. I gotta really Americanize it.
Well, next week I won't be doing a SciTrek video beforehand, so I will have a chance to eat, and then we can talk about whatever the hell you want.
What does stone mean? How many pounds is that, Jay? It's 14 or 12.
No, it's like 90 something pounds or something. Wait a second, I'll tell you.
90 pounds. That's 15. You said you're 15 stone.
Stone. Remembering I know kilos. In pounds, it is 210 pounds.
A stone is 210 pounds.
Yeah. Remembering I'm 5'7". I'm a little bit overweight. I'm average height for somebody that's 6'2".
Well, you're good. I was 5 foot. I'm still 5'9", but I used to be 250 plus pounds. So you're doing
well. In kilograms, what is 15 stone in kilograms? 95 kilograms. So I'm 95 bags of sugar. 210 pounds. My ideal weight is 10 stone, 10 and a half stone, I think, which is 147 pounds. I'm only doing 10 stone if I cut off a leg and possibly both legs now. I used to be, I used to have
real fast. I'm sorry. I need to know how. So bad.
I pity you fools. Back in the day, though, when I was fit and I used to run and walk and stuff, before I used to sit down for 12 hours a day, I weighed 12 stone, and I was always 12 stone, dead on, boom, 12 stone. So even then, I couldn't be my ideal weight, but I was muscular. I'm like, what? If I stick my finger in your mouth, it's called a yawn fart.
Time to end the stream. We gotta go. I totally forgot I'm supposed to be in Hollywood right now, so I just got a phone call. Just reminded me that.
No, I want to talk a bit longer. Let's talk about I'm going to talk about toileting. As you get older, you start toileting a little bit differently as you get older. And there's a need to plan ahead with toileting as well. At any point, you can call it a day.
They can still hear us over this. I'm just killing birds and getting stones, as they say.
Dude, go get a job.
I can't go eat before I have this meeting either.
Go get a job. Good. You're going to starve now. Good. See if I like
stuff.
See how you like it.
So when I'm just going to say when I'm manifesting it. When you get down here for San Diego Comic-Con, please, I very well may have a play going on at the same time that I'm directing and producing, and that's what I'm about to go meeting about. So I'm doing a sketch comedy.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
That would be so cool to get. I can come and watch your play.
Yeah. I'll be in a little bit of it, not a whole bunch, because I'm co-producing, co-directing it. So the girl I'm co-producing, co-directing with, I'll probably be in 1 or 2 of her skits, and she might be in 1 or 2 of mine. But
we're directing it and everything, so that'd be cool as fuck, man. It's still your.
Oh yeah, I'm pumped.
Cool, man.
So if I start trying to fundraise here soon, you know why.
SciTrekkers will not help at all, but we'll give you moral support.
Hey, that's what counts. And the good thing is there will be at least 1 or 2 YouTube live streams of the performances, so I'll try to like push those out as well when it comes to it. But that'll be summer. It's that Hollywood Fringe Festival, that same festival that Greg was talking about going to Scotland to, in Edinburgh.
When you're young, you control the toilet. When you're old, the toilet controls you.
I am looking forward to anything like
that. Oh, Dave, that's brilliant.
Bob wants us to live stream giving each other pedicures.
I'm glad he said pedicures. I thought he said something else when I just read it in the corner of my eye. I was thinking, not while I've got my strength.
Oof. But yes, as Carrie said, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell for all the alerts, and leave a comment. Both live comment and after to help the channel out, you know? Don't y'all know? But for the sake of Jay eating food and for the sake of me actually doing things that I told people that I would do that I completely forgot that I was supposed to be doing because time happens in a linear aspect and I forget that occasionally.
Stop talking. Just let me go.
We're going to head out. Love y'all. We'll see y'all soon. See y'all Sunday for sure. We'll do some other stuff throughout the week. See y'all.
Bye.